In this new age where movies try to push their own agendas onto everyone, you hear one repeating message. Disney pushes woke ideology. Star Wars has drunken the woke Kool-Aid. Such and such game studio has gone woke, etc., etc. But if you look up the definition of the word woke, you realize that these movies are not woke, as they are called. Because woke means you cannot easily deceive me. And the fact that you didn't know that that's what the word means, by definition, means you are not woke, because you are easily deceived. You are asleep. But let me guess, in an attempt to not seem so gullible, you want me to prove myself, right? Of course. Well, welcome to Lamech's Effects, where I prove everything, and my effect on the interpretation of various medias will affect how you view the world. So, starting with the definition of the word woke, let us begin. First off, obviously, the root of woke is being awake. So, what does being awake mean? In the Merriam-Webster dictionary, to be awake means to become conscious or aware of something. If that's too difficult to understand, here are the synonyms. One of them is cognizant, meaning to have certain knowledge. Another is sensible, which means you can discern whether things make sense or not. Together, that makes being awake to mean having knowledge to determine whether something makes sense. For example, what if I said that this character was Bulma from Dragon Ball Z? If you are awake to that anime, you would say that I'm wrong. Why? Because you have certain knowledge that Bulma has blue hair. You know Dragon Ball Z has a certain art style. You have certain knowledge to tell me that saying this is Bulma does not make sense. That's being awake. But media says being woke means to promote feminism and men in dresses and homosexuality, and that girls are equal in strength to men. But are women equal in strength to men? No. So does it make sense to claim that they are? No. So if feminism doesn't make sense, is it woke? No. Thinking women and men are physically equal in power? Ha! In your dreams. Which reminds me. So, woke is being able to tell if something is true. But what about asleep? Well, obviously, asleep must mean to be gullible or easily tricked into believing something that is not true. And, for example, since we are all awake, we can tell that this is not Bulma. However, how many of you have had a dream where you saw a person and called him or her some name of some character from any TV show? But when you woke up, you realized that person was not who you called him. For example, you'd have a dream where you saw this woman and was sure she was Bulma. No one could tell you otherwise until you woke up. That is being asleep. You were deceived into believing something that had no evidence to back it up. In fact, you believed it because you felt it was true in your heart. Like Jeremiah 17:9. The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? So I use the phrase, I feel it in my heart, because there are many Christians who believe things about Jesus and the Bible, but there are no biblical scriptures to back up their beliefs. In the same way, you believed woke meant to support feminism all this time, but there was nothing to back up that belief. You believed it so much that when you said you were tired of woke movies, you meant that you were tired of feminism. You thought you were resisting the programming of feminism, but you were deceived into assigning feminism a word that had nothing to do with it. You were hypnotized to forget basic English. All right, I just used the word hypnotize, but why? Well, to hypnotize someone is to put them asleep. So, hypnosis. Hypnosis comes from the Greek deity Hypnos, the god of sleep. And how does hypnosis work? Well, when you're awake, your mind is constantly validating things to determine if they are true or not. So a hypnotist gives you a swinging watch or a spinning wheel to look at. Why? Well, it's not the object itself that hypnotizes you, nor is it what the object is doing. The watch or the wheel is simply to give your mind something to focus on. That way, all those mental barriers go down. Then, the hypnotist tells you, listen to my voice. You are getting sleepy, over and over again. You were not originally sleepy, but because you hear it over and over again with no barriers, you believe it. That is called illusory truth. In other words, illusory truth is something you believe simply because you heard it or saw it enough times. It may be a lie, but you believe it because someone said it to you often, again and again. Isaiah 29:10. For the Lord hath poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep, and hath closed your eyes, the prophets and your rulers, the seers hath he covered. In other words, he made it so that no one can tell you the truth anymore. There are no more barriers. What's an example? Well, The Little Mermaid comes out with a black Ariel who is independent. Star Wars comes out with a female lead. Buzz Lightyear comes out with a homosexual couple. You get these movies and focus on the controversy these movies bring. Then the media says, listen to my voice. These are woke media. And after hearing someone say, this show has gone woke, or I'm tired of woke culture, or what, another woke movie? That only repeats the belief that these are woke movies. So you hear that enough times and you believe that these are examples of woke messages. You think that these are the definition of woke. But now you don't think that because I have woken you up to the knowledge of what woke means. And in summary, it means to have knowledge that helps you discern what is the truth and what is a lie so that no one can deceive you. It should be noted that another component of being asleep is that you become resistant to the truth. If it doesn't match the illusion that you've been given, you believe that the truth is not true. 2 Thessalonians 2:11. And for this cause, God shall send them strong delusion that they should believe a lie. That's why you were ready to fight against me for saying that you were hypnotized, but you were ready to believe that woke means feminist or homosexual. Like a sleeping person, you don't like being roused from your slumber. I forgot to tell you, did you ever notice that other countries think America is stupid? Do you want to know why? See, it's not just because Americans don't know anything. It's because Americans don't know what they should know. And even what they do know, they don't even know that. For example, most of you didn't know what woke meant because the media hypnotized you into believing a false definition. In the same way, many Americans think gender is psychological and not what you're born as. But the dictionary definition of gender is birth. Literally, it means what you're born as. But you knew what gender meant for years. Actually, on that note, literally, you know it means exactly. Yet, you let TV hypnotize you into believing literally is the same thing as figuratively. When, if you look at the word, the root of literal is letter. So literal literally means exactly as it is written, not on your emotions. But TV tricked you English speakers into forgetting how to speak basic English. If that's not being asleep, I don't know what is. So other countries ask, how can you let TV trick you into not believing something you already knew and had evidence for? Wait, what's the definition of stupidity? Here is the synonym. It is gullible. And what does gullible mean? Britannica has the simplest definition. It says, quick to believe something that is not true. So, stupidity is you are quick to believe something that is not true. On that note, how about free? Not only is it a 4-letter word, it's also an elementary school word. So, it should be easy, right? So, as an English speaker, you should definitely know it. Also, it is central to your existence as an American because people believe America is the greatest country on earth because they are free, right? So, as an American, you should know what free means. There are holidays based on free. You have it every July, every year. You should know it. So if there is any word an English-speaking American should know, it is free. So, What does it mean? See, other countries see that English-speaking Americans don't even understand the language they use every day, the language that they were born into. And if an English-speaking American can't understand English, how can he understand anything? Therefore, Americans are stupid and can't learn anything. They don't know anything, they can't learn anything, and they are quick to believe things that are not true as long as the TV tells them so. Now, lastly, you should know how else this media hypnotism can be used as a weapon. Oh, speaking of media hypnotism, we shouldn't call these movies woke movies anymore. We should call them hypnotic movies because they're not meant to wake you up. They're meant to put you asleep. But in any case, how can this media hypnotism be used as a weapon? When you are focused on the story of a movie, you become susceptible to the messages the movie promotes. So, if you are caught up in the action of crime movies, you don't notice that almost all characters, all black characters, are criminals. Then, one day, you have the belief that almost all black people are criminals, and you don't know why. You don't know where that thought came from. Therefore, we should explore how directors can choose to use different races in media. And we will see how these choices promote different messages to the viewer. So, next time, we will look at how the meaning of Chronicles of Narnia would change based on who is race swapped in the story, because I promise I do that. But first, like and subscribe and share this with anyone who would like to see hidden messages in media. And I'll see you next time on Lamech's Effects.